So, like I say, a lot of people owed me favors, like even the Bloods and the Crips. When you think about it, the Bloods and the Crops, or it was Beads and Crops or something like that. Back in the day, they had a different name. They were like Beads and Crops or something like that. They were people that worked, around my farms and stuff like that, and I was feeding them. Like I say, I added it in there inside of my constitution, basically that black people can vote and and stuff like that just because people were saying black people don't vote, and I didn't know why they weren't voting, or whatever. Maybe the system was perfect, so, and they were happy with it. But basically, I wrote it in there. I am the one who added it in there that black people can vote, just in case you didn't realize it. So, or slaves can vote, and then they changed it to black people. Because you have a right to be a part of your civilization just like everyone else. So, and it's in my Constitution of America, which is also was also part of Belfast too. I mean, the Constitution is also the White Star Constitution because it's Lucifer White Star is my name. So, and I designed the Constitution of America and everything else. So I put it in there that slaves or black people can vote, workers can vote. You can vote for your company as well. I mean, your country anyway. To a certain degree, a lot of people were saying that the public was voting to eliminate rights or whatever, and I was like, no, you can't eliminate your rights. Your constitutional rights are solid and complete. I don't care if you vote. As far as that. You still have the rights, due process, blah, 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 blah. You don't have the right to take away your rights. You can't vote, and it gets down to this thing where a bunch of people are saying, well, the public voted on, blah, 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 and I was like, well, you can't do that. You cannot vote to eliminate your right to whatever, or your right to vote. You can't vote to eliminate women's rights. That's not an option. Women have the same rights as men. Small people have the same rights as big people. You don't get to vote on that. You get to vote on the general things. So anyway, so a lot of people were trying to change whatever the Constitution, blah blah blah. But like I say, it's the same Constitution for White Star Alliance. Ireland. Basically anywhere White Star Alliance company would be is anywhere my Constitution would be. So, and America. So, anyway, so like I say, women have the right to education. If you wanted a more in-depth Constitution, I'll write you one. Where you have the right to an education. You have the right to read. You have the right to basically own property. Although technically I own your planet, so more like living on it, whatever. So it's like, I own your planet and star, but it's like, at least no one's rights supersede my rights as your creator and leader of your civilization. So anyway. So yeah, and you don't have the right to go into someone's house and kill them and basically go and live there. That's not a right. And things like basically like eminent domain and all that other stuff. The government or a country does not have the right to just take away your house and say, oh, well, too bad. It's over. I'm moving in. They don't have the right to do that without due payment. They have to pay you for the house so you can go get another house, or they have to provide you with a house. It's the way I did it. If I took away someone's house, I would give them another house, probably a better house. So, anyway, and a lot of people are like, it's like, shut the fuck up. I'm your commander-in-chief talking. Anyway, yeah. So basically, these are your rights. A country or government does not have the right to take away your property without paying you for it. They do not have the right to lock you up for said property. They don't have the right to do the blah blah blah. I basically flushed it out. I was like, well, if it's gonna be like that, then fine. As your creator, Lucifer Star, this is the way it is. you know. So basically, and other people are like, to hell with whether or not he's the creator. His laws are fair. I mean, everybody agrees that my laws are fair and sound. Jail for a time, rehabilitation, blah, blah, blah. It's a good system. So, and I'm the designer of basically your American government and your human rights, your civil rights, your property rights, everything. Your financial rights. The government or the bank does not have the right to seize the money within your account just because. They do not have the right to put you in jail just because you owe debts. So there is no debtor's prison. These are the rules that I set down. I mean, technically everybody owes me anyway. It's like, well, technically you owe me anyway because I actually created you. So, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, Lucifer Star, I am your creator. So anyway, whether or not you believe it or not, and I'm also the namer and basically the person who created the White House. So, or the president, the governments. And I also play a part in Singapore and, all these other countries. I had factories and mines and production facilities. I'm also the one behind linen and linen cloth and everything else like that. Like I invented the cotton gin and all this other kind of stuff. It took me forever to invent the fucking cotton gin. I had to do it. But someone had to do it, so I did it. So anyway. And then my other people just perfected it and worked on it and made it work even better. So anyway, the practice effect. No, the Lucifer Star effect. Anyway, so basically, and I can also say that people did not pick cotton without gloves on. If you pick cotton, you got little thimbles and gloves because the spinas would go through the gloves. So we tried leather gloves, it didn't work. So, little thimbles on each finger, and they're also thimbles for record amounts of cotton picked. You'd get a gold thimble if you picked a lot of cotton, or were someone who had a team of people picking a lot of cotton. So, if you did really well, I'd give you a gold thimble or something like that, and some money or something. I don't know. My wages and my ideas were always very fair and very understanding, and everybody loved me. And everybody loved me. So anyway, like I say, I can prove my identity to you very easily. By saying this and that and blah 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 blah, and this is the way it was. So everyone thinks that thimbles are for sewing. No, they're for picking cotton. I should know. So anyway, and basically with that, I'm like, Trump, smackdown. Like that. Because, and I can also tell you where the first underwater deep sea diving. I had a whole bunch of drunk divers down there. They went down to about 75 feet, and then they couldn't go any deeper because of nitrogen narcosis. So we started adding helium or whatever into the air supply, and a couple other whatevers. I had experts and Germans and basically people doing it. That was another White Star Line offshoot. So while it was in whatever country, it was White Star Lines. I was oceans and sea and Ireland and Germany and all around the world. So I'm like, I can prove this to you. So anyway, so yeah. So meanwhile, Rick Bush and Jehovah's Witness and a bunch of other idiots are like, easy street. It's like, no, it's not easy street. Well, and I have lots of other ideas like robotics and stuff like that for spray painting cars and massive and mass production and assembly lines. So anyway, and also the tunnel or the MTD or MBT or whatever. The tunneling machine and possibly using airlocks because I'm like, well, if we use an airlock when we're mining, you should be able to keep a higher amount of gas pressure inside of there, and then you shouldn't get any blowouts when you're digging underneath the ground or whatever, because sometimes you'll hit a pocket of gas or something like that, and basically, it'll fill the mine full of gas or something like that, or something. There are some deep underground mining problems of the old days. Anyway, though, but like I say, but whatever, I mean, basically, the White Star Line Company is the builder and I had other things like rebreathing devices being worked on and all kinds of stuff. And I have film and records to prove it. And receipts! So, I owned Germany, and I owned Russia, and I owned everything. Just playing. I own anyway, and my people are like, well, you're going to own it, we're going to make sure you own everything anyway, because, they didn't want me killed. Like, my people love me, they adored me. I'm the bringer of everything that they love and adore, warm ships, warm steam, happy families, Christmas. Like everyone, like a lot of people balk and a lot of people complain and say blah blah blah, but then they start, those little presents, and the kids love the presents at Christmas time and the Easter egg hunts and all the silly little things. And I bring families together, and people start, all the children and all the happy memories and stuff like that. America, the Earth, is an epic civilization, and always will be. So World War I and World War II and all those other wars was basically over me, pretty much. A bunch of people wanted to kill me, a bunch of people wanted to take over my country and my government, but it's like, I named it, it's my country. It's my America. It's my White Star Line Company. So they're trying to say I was dead, but I'm not. I love my Titanic and my Leviathan and my Lusitania. I'm the one who invented travel and basically the store and the shopping mall and food stuff. And, television, I don't know. I had a lot of wonderfully amazing Germans behind me. Germany loved me as well. They had absolute devotion. They loved my light bulbs. They loved my cities of lights. They loved my lit streets at nighttime. They loved my silly TV shows. And my commercials. And like I said, it goes into tampons for women. And underwear for women and stuff like that. So. Anyway. Yeah. And beautiful silk dresses. And everyone's unanimously said Lucifer Star is our creator and our leader and our benefactor. The one who guided us and showed us the light and the truth and gave us this planet. Yeah, basically. So anyway, 100 galaxies or 300 galaxies or something, my existence just goes out and more and more and more. Ever and ever greater and more powerful.